Hello, all you beautiful people. Welcome to another sketchbook tour. I apologize for the length of the first one. It was my first, and I did try to edit it and cut it as much as possible for you guys. If you could like and comment on these next few as a sign of forgiveness, I'd certainly appreciate it. If I look a little drained today, it's because I am. It's summer here in Oregon. That means it's time for a lot of fairs and festivals, and and that means a lot of walking around. And I enjoy those events as much as the next person, but sometimes I'd rather just kind of sit around and people watch. And I tried to take a lot of reference photos, and sometimes people are a little hesitant to have random people take their photos. So it's better to go up to them and ask and things like that. But to actually get candid photographs of people without them knowing is kind of difficult, which is what I usually try to do. But anyway, that's that. So on to the sketchbook. Uh, like I said in my previous video, this is going to be like 10 or 11 sketches. Some of them really rough, and you all have to remember that this is a sketchbook. It's a list of ideas and sometimes for larger pieces as well. So just bear with me, and I'll try to try to describe what's going on in these. All right, so right off the bat, we have the very next page from the last sketchbook tour, but this is Red Sonja. It was a great composition of mine. A lot going on in this picture. It's actually a reference from a model that I'd taken, a random model I'd taken off the internet, and I just took the model's pose and threw the Red Sonja's costume on this. I really love her hair in this photo. Like I said, there's a lot going on, a lot of demons, gargoyles in the background with chains and hooks hanging from the ceiling and things like that. It's kind of like in a dungeon scene, but enjoyed that one. Enjoyed, and I apologize if you can't see all the detail in these photos, but there on some of my pieces there's a lot going on, and it's kind of hard to see all the details. But this is a raven that I started for my girlfriend. She really enjoys ravens and crows and things like that. It just never got back and finished that. This is Buck Rogers, and if anybody knows anything about the TV shows from the late 70s, early 80s, Buck Rogers was one of my favorites. Unfortunately, it was only on for 2 seasons. It was created by Glenn Larson, and if that name sounds familiar, it's because it should be. He created a lot of shows in that time frame, notably Fall Guy, $6 Million Man, Knight Rider, and Buck Rogers was no exception. Buck Rogers starred Gil Gerard and Erin Gray. Erin was, she was a beautiful actress, and I have a few sketches of her. She had that classic kind of 70s, 80s look to her, with the shiny hair and great looking, beautiful skin and things like that. But Buck Rogers was it ran in 1979 to 1981. Yeah, so, and actually the original character of Buck Rogers was created in 1926 by Phil Nolan, so that kind of gives you an idea of how long that character has been around. But yeah, Buck Rogers. This is just a kind of a sketch of a warrior female riding a dragon. I've gone back and tried to fix this sketch quite a few times, if you can kind of tell by the sketching or erasing, but it never really worked out like I wanted it to. This one is the Birds of Prey. Once again, I took some models, actually a group photo of some Korean girl band, and I threw all the character costumes on them. You know, you got the Huntress, Katana, Poison Ivy, Batgirl, and Black Canary, and actually the Birds of Prey was originally created by the Black Canary and Batgirl, which became Oracle, and if any of you know, like, the history of Batgirl, the character has actually been 6 different characters. The original was actually a character named Betty Kane, which eventually became Flamebird, but she appeared in one of the original Batman comics, and was kind of like the sidekick to Batwoman. But yeah, and you have Katana, which is not a really very popular character, but one of her main deals is she carries a soul sword, if you will, of her former lover around that she talks to, and just a classic kind of character, and you know, and I kind of enjoyed doing Poison Ivy in this one, because just kind of throwing in the ivy along her waistline and arms and hair. But good concept there. Fantastic Four. I really enjoyed this one. This one actually I worked on, and it was going to, and I'm still working on it. One of my first oil comic book paintings. So this kind of transferred over to that, and I enjoyed the way I looked. I had Ben Grimm, the Thing, look in this one. You know, and you have the Invisible Woman and Mr. Fantastic, of course, and the Human Torch. This one is Captain America, one of kind of like the old school Captain America, with the old school shield design, bigger than bullets, kind of like a World War II idea concept. I actually got this reference from a model of kind of like the same World War II design, but you have his helmet and eye and holding an AK-47, obviously with the old school motorcycle concept. But I'll probably eventually go back to this, but I have to kind of look up where I got the reference photo. This is from one of the original concept designs of Tron, and the movie Tron, made in 1982, one of my favorite sci-fi movies. You know, I like the whole visual aspect of Tron with the light cycles and the gameplay, things like that. And actually, the old Tron stand-up game, I enjoyed playing that as well. But yeah, Tron, I will eventually go back to getting that finished up. This was kind of taken from another Jack Kirby design, but it's Batman with Harlequin in the background, just kind of jumping over buildings and a lot of action in this picture. This is actually one of the pictures I tried to use. One of the the blue pencil for the sketches. That they say these blue pencils don't transfer over when you scan them onto the computer, which I've had good and bad luck with them. I don't use them all the time, but in this picture they worked out well for the first initial sketch. But I enjoyed that one. This one, Samson from Samson and Goliath. If any of you know that character, actually that character, this concept was kind of taken from the cartoon Young Samson, which is very old. It was created in 1967 by Hanna-Barbera. Kind of on the same lines as Space Ghost and things like that, but this is another kind of Jack Kirby concept, and I enjoyed kind of throwing this together, like the muscle structure and things like that. Fairly decent design there. Got Power Man in an action pose. This one's kind of challenging for me because sometimes drawing characters fighting is a challenge to get the correct body positioning and action going on. You obviously got Power Man knocking out the character in the foreground, it's didn't completely get the body positionings the way I want them. And you can kind of see that I didn't really go back and finish them. So that's all for now. I did want to show you what one of my newest Instagram posts, what I'm working on now. I'm kind of proud of it. I used one of the ink pen, one of the newer ink pens that I purchased for the shading and things like that. I kind of was a little upset that some of it bled, but this is a fairy girl with, in the midst of some cherry blossoms, which I enjoyed doing, and hopefully I can translate this onto some printed other designs. But that'll be all for now. Like it said, we have more to come. All right, thank you. I hope you enjoyed that. And just remember, we're not even halfway through that sketchbook. We're probably just about a third through. So there's more to come. Feel free to, and please comment below if you're liking what you're seeing, and subscribe to see those next upcoming ones. They only get better as I progress, and I'm enjoying showing these to you guys. Hopefully I'm not too scatterbrained when I go get off on a tangent and talk about the pictures, but I'm, like I said, I'm enjoying sharing them with you. So thank you. Cheers, and have a great day. This is Theo, and you're watching Theo.